Video games are creative works. The art style, gameplay, and story can make or break a game. However, sometimes blending elements of various genres together can add extra flavor to it. So today I will share 10 great games that mash various genres together, which are a thrill for me to experience. Let's check it out. Number 10. Lost Judgement. Lost Judgement has a blend of action-adventure elements, beat-em-up elements, as well as a bit of RPG elements. As far as the action-adventure beat-em-up elements goes, there are plenty of puzzles to solve, as well as plenty of gangs that you get to fight, where they mingle around town and where you beat them up and disrespect them and whatnot, as well as there are RPG elements where you get to gather different resources to craft different parts to upgrade various equipments that are necessities for side activities like school stories, or craft various items to enhance your skills temporarily to take down enemies much better. If all that sounds interesting to you, as well as you love a game with a compelling story, definitely check out Lost Judgement on the Steam Deck. Number 9. Nier Automata. Nier Automata has a blend of hack and slash elements, shoot 'em up elements, as well as a bit of RPG elements. As far as the shoot 'em up goes, there are times when you get to glide and shoot at various enemies while dodging obstacles that come at you along the way, as well as other times when you are navigating the world, you get to fight different enemies with melee style weapons, as well as shoot them down with some gun weapons. Now, as far as RPG elements goes, there's also a level up system where you can also customize various gears that you obtain, as well as make use of magic. So yeah, if all that sounds interesting to you, definitely check out Nier Automata on the Steam Deck. Number 8. The Wild at Heart. The Wild at Heart blends strategy as well as Metroidvania vibes in the game. As far as strategy elements goes, you get to build an army of tiny creatures known as spritelings, in which they are your everything. Because as far as the spritelings goes, you command them to perform various tasks for you, such as killing various enemies, overcoming certain obstacles, and whatnot. There are different types of spritelings that you gotta use strategically to utilize different tasks, as well as take down certain enemies. Throughout the game, there are also various camps where you get to craft various items and foods, where they all help with better survival and exploration in the dangerous forest, no matter if it is for you or for the army of spritelings that you built up. Now, as far as Metroidvania goes, there are plenty of areas to explore in which you normally at first will not able to access those different areas until you are introduced to those specific spritelings that can help you overcome those different obstacles along the way, so that it will clear the passage for you to explore those new hidden areas. So yeah, if you really love these type of games with jolly characters and where you love strategy games as well as Metroidvania games, then this light-hearted game is definitely for you to check out. Number 7. Valkeria Chronicles. As far as Valkeria Chronicles goes, it blends turn-based strategy with third-person shooter elements to it. As far as turn-based strategy goes, when it is your turn, you get to select an individual in your party in which you get to move them to a good spot where you get to attack the enemy using a gun. Now, as far as third-person shooter elements goes, whenever you select the specific party member, it transitions into a normal adventure-style game where you control the character to move and where you get to shoot an enemy, take cover, as well as you can choose to switch to different weapons to use in your disposal. So if all that sounds interesting to you, definitely check out Valkeria Chronicles on the Steam Deck. Number 6. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart blends third-person shooters as well as 3D platformers together. As far as the third-person shooter elements goes, you get to acquire a huge variety of really fun, flashy, futuristic firearms and weapons that you get to take down hordes of enemies that come at you. As far as platforming goes, there are times when you get to grind the various rails as well as jump left and right in tight spaces to go upwards. It's just a really fun and chaotic game where you're on your toes at all times and where you get to be on this mission to do all it takes to save the world from an evil emperor. So yeah, if all that sounds really interesting to you and you love games with a cartoon-like vibe to it, definitely check out Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on the Steam Deck. Number 5, Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb has a mixture of roguelike elements as well as survival elements to it. As far as Cult of the Lamb goes, it involves you managing a colony of different animals in which you gotta make sure that all of those inhabitants will stay healthy as well as stay nurtured. As far as staying healthy goes, you gotta make sure to clean up any kind of mess going on in the colony to prevent the inhabitants from getting sick, as well as making sure that they are well fed or else they will eventually die from starvation. You get to also perform various sermons as well as rituals that help maintain the doctrine that you get to teach to the various animals in your colony. Now, as far as roguelike elements goes, you get constant missions where you have to go on these quote-unquote crusades in which you get into those procedurally generated areas where you fight off hordes of enemies, and oftentimes there is a boss where you must defeat it, in which you get to rescue the specific animal to continue to grow your colony and influence. So yeah, if all that sounds interesting to you, definitely check out Cult of the Lamb on the Steam Deck. Number 4, God of War 2018. God of War 2018 is a game that blends action-adventure as well as a bit of RPG elements in it. As far as action-adventure goes, you get to navigate in this beautiful world that is story-rich with various puzzles as well as various enemies that you get to beat them up disrespectfully with your various weapons, as well as there are these RPG elements in the game where you get to gather various resources throughout and where you get to craft and upgrade your gear, which also contains very detailed stats that are often found in various RPG games, as well as you can also obtain various items found in various chests in order to give extra buffs to your gear. So yeah, if all that sounds interesting to you, as well as you love a game that has a compelling story, definitely check out God of War 2018 on the Steam Deck. Number 3, Creatures of Ava. Creatures of Ava blends cozy as well as action-adventure elements to it. As far as coziness goes, it brings about this beautiful aesthetics where there are cute animals as well as cute characters and where there is no bloodshed, and also various beautiful biomes in which you get to explore. As far as the action-adventure side of things, though I said there is no bloodshed, but there are more or less feels of you engaging in combat. Now, what I mean by that is the primary goal of the game is to clean up various species which are corrupted, and where those different species, when they are corrupted, they will actually attack you, and you gotta quote-unquote fight back by using your staff and clearing the corruption in those different animals, and then afterwards you get to tame them. So even though there is no bloodshed, but it pretty much feels as if it is a combat in which you are defeating the corruption, but at the same time the only difference with it is that you don't actually kill the animals, you cure the animals. Now, throughout the game there are also plenty of secret areas that you get to explore, in which you normally as a human will not be able to progress unless you control those tamed animals and play as them to access those different areas, whether it is clearing different obstacles or squishing into tight spaces and doing all it takes to go beyond the barriers in order to access different areas. So yeah, if all that sounds interesting to you, definitely check out Creatures of Ava on the Steam Deck. Number 2, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 combines turn-based elements as well as real-time action elements to it. As far far as turn-based goes, you get to take turns with your party members to manually select specific actions to attack the different enemies. And when selecting a move to deal with the enemies, you can't just sit there and relax, but you will have to follow the button prompts to execute the actual actions. Which brings about the quote-unquote real-time action. You can also use specific button inputs where you get to dodge, parry, jump, which are also timed. Now, as far as the game goes, the story is also amazing as well. There are different things in the game, the different moments in which they are really touching to me, in which I get to learn more about the characters and where I feel like I am actually accompanying them on their journey. They just feel so special to me. And by the way, I actually have a review on this channel sharing my thoughts of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, so if you are interested, feel free to check it out. But anyways, if all that sounds interesting to you, definitely check out Clair Obscur Expedition 33 on the Steam Deck. Alright friends, my favorite game that blends various genres together is none other than Persona 5 Royal. As far as Persona 5 Royal goes, it blends turn-based JRPG with life simulation elements. As far as JRPG elements goes, you get to obtain various personas where you get to fight different enemies in various dungeons, as well as you get to fuse various personas in which you can create stronger ones. Now, as far as life simulation goes, in the meantime, when you are not fighting in those various dungeons, you get to engage in the school life as a high schooler, in which you get to study, take different tests where they will boost up different stats, as well as you get to form various bonds with your friends during free time and where you spend time with them. You get to learn more about their life, but also at the same time, it will help you gain various abilities. So yeah, if you're looking for a turn-based JRPG game in which there is a rich story as well as where it blends some kind of life simulation elements to it, in which it reminds you of the teenager and high school lifestyle, definitely check out Persona 5 Royal on the Steam Deck. Alright friends, these are 10 great games in which I'll recommend anyone who is checking out for games that mash various genre elements to it. Let me know in the comment section below, are there any games in which you enjoy that blends various game genres to it? We'll love to discuss. And as always, if you love gaming lists, gaming reviews, gaming discussions, and everything related to the Steam Deck, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so you'll not miss another video. I try to post Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so stay tuned. Once again, my name is Joey from the Nomadic Gaming Guild, and game on!